Just as a hashpor, the hashpor comes is oir. But oir is a hashpor, like we said, on a very simple level, buffet style. It's also hashpor. But it's not hashpor. Hashpor means to bestow. This is not bestowing, this is just making it available. The similar thing is in the Gedula. There is a Gedula that expresses itself in that form. And there is the Gedula that does not express. It does not bother me. No, I have to. Anyway, that's the brief answer to your question. So we are 4 lines into the third section on this page, Chof. The line starts with the word mamash. Even in the words from the Rebbe, if you are careful, right at there on the mamash, the Rebbe says, in the keli, in the chesed mamash, shom shayach inyan hagdula v'tekel hashpor. This is where the inyan of gdula and the insistence and the force of hashpor is shayach, is possible. Which means this is not where it originates, but it's appropriate to be identified as such in the keli. All right, we're towards the end, on the middle of the 4th line. V'chein shem Elokim, and similar to shem Elokim, we're talking about the 7 holy names, and that each applies to the spheres. So we're saying that this Indian that the names applied refer to the spheres means the kelim of the spheres. We discussed the Indian from Shem Kel B'Chesed. And similarly, the Shem Elokim, Shuhu B'chinas Adin, which is the aspect of Din. Din means judgment, precision. This is shayach. It's applicable. This can be identified in the keli of Gvura. Not in the oil of Gvura, but in the keli of Gvura. However, this in that we say that the Shemus refer to the Kelim. This does not refer to the Kelim themselves. Shaharei, since that Hashem is Hein Lahaberi is what the names are. Lahaberi is a reference to the Creator Himself. These are names of the Creator. Kel, Elikim. It is not the Kelim that are identified with these names. It is Hashem who is identified with these names. Elo HaKavona. What then do we mean to say that the names are in the Kelim? HaKavona, the intent over there is El Ha'oir v'Hachayus Shel HaKelim. So clearly here we'll have to really focus in for some degree of clarity. The oil and the chayos of the keli itself. Not the keli, the chayos in the keli. The who, and that is hachayos shel hakeli, hachayos shel hakeli atzma. The chayos of the keli itself, levad ha'oir ha'melubosh bo, besides the oil that expresses itself through the keli. What is this dissection? There's a keli itself. There is the oil that is expressed through the keli. Then there is the specific highest of the keli itself. This is, we'll have to really focus in and get a sense, be able to relate to these three different denominations. When a person disseminates tzedakah with his hand, in order to do that, he has to have a hand that's able to move, able to pick up an object and transfer it, transposition it from one place to another. And as we explained, there's a big difference between the ability of pushing it away from one place and it ends up in another place, versus picking it up, completely dissociating it from the place where it's standing, and lifting it into a different realm, and then establishing it in a different place. That's a real accomplishment. It's a complete act. In order to accomplish that, he has to have this versatility in the hand and the koyach in the hand to do this. So let us just analyze this. If a person, for example, uses a pair of pliers to pick up an object and to position it, the pliers are also participating in this transition. And the hand is participating. And his mind is participating, and his heart is participating. Each one of these are participating on a totally different level. The pliers are not really participants. They're not appreciative of what they're accomplishing in this action. As a matter of fact, they're not accomplishing anything. They're not involved in this transaction. Then there is the emotional aspect and the Sechel aspect that is completely expressive of what I'm trying to accomplish. Then there is the hand that is almost on par with the plier. It's a tool that I'm using to accomplish my thing. But we all understand that this is a totally different world. The hand and the plier are not at all in the same category. The hand actually is a participant. It feels the chayus, the warmth, the excitement of doing what is being done. Although it does not understand the excitement, but it actually is experiencing it. So in the hand, which is the keli, the means of which the transaction is accomplished, there is the oiver chayes hanefesh. Like we said, the koyach hatnua is a koyach hanefesh. But then, in addition to the koyach hatnua, which is the koyach hanefesh, there is a chayes of the hand itself. The hand appreciates the whole phenomenon of chayus, of action. Not only of action, but this action. Not at the level of oir, but the transfer and the activity of moving an object from one place to another, it is done in a participating manner. Like I said, when you pick up and move, not only is it done in a careful way, but when you put it down, you don't drop it down. In other words, all the way, this is the Tokyo Hashma, all the way to the end are you a participant. And that is the hand itself. So the similar Inyan is said in the Kli HaChesed. And now we're talking about the Kli HaGvura. The Shemesh, Keli Lelakim, apply to the Keli. But not the Keli as it is completely devoid of any chayus. Not to the plier. And neither to the Sechel, to the chayes hanefesh, but to the chayes that's in the keli. And in bringing this out, the Rebbe says a fantastic thing. We cannot say that the shemesh refer to the kelim themselves. Why? Because the names actually are directed to Hashem himself. I'd like to try and identify this principle. He's saying that the Chesed and Gvura and Ayin that are first to Hashem himself. Again, we'll go back to the human being as the points of analysis. We spoke about yesterday that even from the perspective of the Chayes, in every action, in every midah, in every emotion, there is a Sechel. The Sechel can convince a person, can argue, say, this is what you should do, and this is how you should do it. This is the right thing to do. That Sechel, no matter how clearly understood, will never effectuate the action. They don't ever solve. What then brings about that that an action should take place? Sechel is an internal experience. And as much as I understand, I'm always trying to understand it better and internalize it. But to bring about an action on an external arena does not come directly from the Sechel at all. What places one person in the same arena with another person so that I would transfer something from my hand into your hand? Which is not an internal projection. The action does not come as a result. I'm projecting how you feel. So what? There has to be something of a higher kind, of something that touches me and you at the point where we are in the same realm. But my Sechel is my own mind. My midas is in my own heart. What is it? What is it that correlates us all the way to the most mundane level of mamash?
Why did we move to talk about what correlates us? I thought we were getting from how does Sechel become action?
That's right. And that's a question. How does Sechel become action? Sechel is an internal experience.
Oh, so correlate with the outside reality.
With the outside reality, that's what action is.
Isn't Sechel understanding the reality?
Yes.
The greater reality, which includes
everyone in the internal to yourself. It's like I said. It's like looking from outside in. Doesn't place me there. I know what's going on.
But it won't actually bring you to do. Right? But it won't actually bring you to act on it.
Zero. I'm not there. So here is a kind of a catch, a tricky point, and extremely important. If in fact I am acting just on the basis of my sechel, I'm not really a participant in this action. It's a robotic action, even though I know what I'm doing. But this guy is a stranger to me. If I do it, and I need to do it for whatever reason, I'm compelled to do it not because I'm relating to this person. It's still a robotic action. Robotic action today, robotics is a field at a very high level of development, and it's still going. And I think their aim is ultimately to give them a human quality, because they believe the human being is also just robotic. But human being has a nefesh, has a nefesh. I was standing in a hospital on the 7th floor, wherever it was, and then there is this machine that delivers medicines to every floor according to what was ordered. The elevator door opens up, and the guy comes out and makes a turn where he's supposed to go, and delivers it to that station, turns around and goes back to the elevator. And goes to the next floor. Amazing thing. So what is it that actually brings about that there should be this keli to bring about the action mamash, the chesed mamash? This is referring to a completely different realm. This is way above the koiches, the capabilities. This is not even the Sechel and the midas. This is the sense that I and you are actually one, are in the same reality. And I'm acting not because of my own feeling, to satisfy my emotional thing. I'm acting because I'm part of this reality. And I want to be part of this reality. This is where the whole principle of kelim originates. Anything short of that, it may be motivated with sechel and midas and so forth. And the action level is still robotic. Because that person is still a separate entity from me. You recall I told you the story that kind of struck me. I was working in an office, in the computers. In those days, computers were massive machines, so every computer needed an operator. The operator was a simple guy. He knew how to operate, how to push buttons. And the operator was a goy, an Italian goy. A big 6'2" guy. A decent fellow. So we were talking one time. So he says, when you need a doctor, Who do you go to? A Jewish doctor. So I was thinking to myself, why does this guy feel that he can go to a Jewish doctor? Huh?
A guy told you this.
Yeah, a guy, an Italian guy.
How?
Yeah. Go to a Jewish doctor. I remember his, the grimace they had. Very impressive because his hands are 3 times the size of my hand. A Jewish doctor. So I was thinking, what is it that he senses the Jewish doctor? Is that the Jewish doctor is not necessarily that smarter from a Goyish doctor. The Goyish doctor that know medicine inside out. They can be many times smarter than a Jewish doctor in terms of accumulating knowledge and so on. There's something special with a Jewish doctor. What is the unique thing? The unique thing is that the Jewish doctor deals with the human being. The Goy deals with the challenge at hand. Not with the human being. He can't be no human. He's a separate Messias. A Jew has it in him that it all comes from one source and it's all one chayas. And he really relates to the human being. If you're going to entrust yourself to another human being, you want to know that he relates to you as a human being. Otherwise, you feel uncomfortable. There's a tefillah from the Rambam. It's a very famous tefillah, a prayer of the Rambam. The Rambam was a Lakshmi. And the Rambam wrote, we have the tefillah in the full text. That when he went into practice his medicine, he would read this tefillah, and in that tefillah he says, I'm going to cure your creatures. I'm going to cure your creatures. Help me so that I would not be swayed by the nature of the creature, of the person, the individual that I'm dealing with. I should not distinguish between one kind and another kind. I should relate to him as your creature, nothing more. Feel from the Rambam. This is the origin of the Kelim. This is what we're saying, that these names are referring to Hashem himself. Because he is the one who relates and correlates everything. If you say Pasuk Eliyah Friday afternoon, before Mincha, we say the same Pasuk Eliyah. Ve'anhu, the kosher lein, you bind them and you unite them. Vaminoch, beside you, Leisi Chudo, there is no unity, and the higher morals and the lower morals. All unity, all correlationship is due to your presence. And now we have to interrupt. In the midst of this afternoon, we'll say Pasuk Eliyah. Have a great day. All right, have a great day.
Da